Can We Talk with Juel, the podcast where the news is so wild I had to start reading it with hazard pay. We are proudly sponsored by fundraisingcup.org Ministries. Why? Well, because somebody has to fund the healing. And listen up, this week has been giving I know you lying energy all week long. So grab your tea, your coffee, your anointing oil, depending on how your week went, because we're diving right into it, starting with local news, aka America's daily soap opera. So guys, the pipe bomb arrest 5 years later. Child, right when we all forgot about those pipe bombs from 2021, Brian Cole Jr. walked into 2025 like, surprise, shorty, what's up? The man was arrested almost exactly 5 years later, guys. FBI said, we didn't forget. America said, yeah, but we kind of did. And then there is Operation Charlotte's Web. North Carolina is out here running undercover immigration ops with names that sound like children's books. Who said that? Over 425 arrests, and DHS is acting like they caught every villain from every Marvel movie. A 20,000-pound cocaine bust, guys. The Coast Guard said, nah, we're taking all that. 20,000 pounds of cocaine, the largest at-sea bust in 20 years, y'all. Somebody's cartel boss is drinking chamomile tea right now as we speak, trying not to flip a darn table. And I'm sure you all heard about the $5,000 border fee. Well, if you haven't, Auntie Jules here to tell you. U.S. Border Patrol said, you crossing illegally? Run me that $5,000. How? That's not immigration. That's cover charge at Club America. Bottle service not included. And what about the L.A. jail escape? One inmate still missing after chipping away concrete like he was Andy in Shawshank Redemption. I want to know what brand of spoon he used, because my silverware bin's just trying to scoop ice cream out the freezer. What was that? New York City CEO murder case, okay? He says the confession shouldn't count because nobody read him his rights. Sir, the way life is set up, you should know your rights before you know your Netflix password. They got folks out here violating them left and right anyway, like we are in a game of Hunger Games. And with that all happening, let's move on into international news, guys. We have the Global Chaos Edition. Russia and Ukraine. Russia launched missiles while peace talks were still happening. Because why not be toxic and disrespectful at the same time? And in Germany said, we're boosting the military. Europe said, again? Climate protesters smeared food on the crown jewels. Not the jewels. Not the macaroni protest. Listen, what we not going to do is disrespect jewels in these parts. Okay, guys? And in the Middle East, Gaza crisis continues. Lebanon, tensions up. Pope Leo XIV traveling like he's on a world tour, guys. Fixing vibes all day. That's his one job. Floods in Southeast Asia. And that brings us right into the weather news. So I mentioned the floods, and the weather is saying, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Cole. The whole Northeast froze before winter even arrived. Flights were delayed, cars wouldn't start, and eyelashes were freezing mid-blink. There was a cyclone in Dishwa out here destroying everything except student loan debt. That's still standing strong. I wish I had better news every week about that. So, with that said, let's roll right into health news. A mess. CDC changes Hep B policy. No more universal newborn hepatitis B shots within 24 hours. Praise God. Pediatricians everywhere are blinking aggressively. And there was a deadly mushroom outbreak. Put the mushrooms down, guys. You are not in an episode of Naked and Afraid out here digging in your backyard. Leave the mushrooms alone, please. And there was an Abbott recall. 3 million glucose sensors recalled for faulty readings. 7 deaths, just a whole tragedy all around. And there was a Marburg outbreak in Ethiopia, 13 cases, 8 deaths. Please wash your hands, sanitize your hands, pray over your hands because virus has been bold lately. And we are now flying into travel news with your VIP advisor, Juel. If your passport is crying, I'm here for you. You know this is my favorite segment. Your vacation should not feel like a group project energy. I handle the upgrades, the surprises, the wow, I feel rich moments. Find me at fundraisingcup.org, Juel. Well, /Juel. Let's make your next trip unforgettable for the right reasons. And now, moving into the actual travel news, the TSA announces new $45 fee. If you don't have Real ID starting February 2026, the TSA said, pay $45 or go home. No ID, no airport, no exceptions. Exclusive Citizenship Act. America is considering ending dual citizenship. Translation, pick a country like it's dodgeball. Southwest new policy. Plus size passengers must buy an extra seat. Somebody's auntie somewhere is already writing a letter. And, of course, you guys know with the winter storms, airline glitches, planes falling asleep midair, all that still happening, travel is a mess. But the good news is if you book with me, because I'll get you through the chaos with a little bit of dignity. And with that said, we're rolling into religious news. So there was an instructor on leave because he gave a student a 0 for calling multiple genders demonic in an essay graded by this transgender professor. Lord have mercy on us, please. So that's hitting the news table, and we're watching that closely as to how that develops. And then no women deacons, the Vatican said. We prayed about it. The answer is still no.
Our hearts for peace.
And Pope Leo the 14th shaking up the church. He canceled a shady fundraiser, Priest Unity in Lebanon, and hung out with Michael Bublé. Busy week for the Holy Father, huh? And there's a Ghanaian prophet out here building an ark. A prophet in Ghana built 2 arks, as a matter of fact, claiming a flood is coming December 25th. Sir, Christmas is already stressful enough with no funds. And the churches doing deportation themes, nativity scenes this year. Wow. Jesus in an ICE detention center? I don't even know how to react. I don't. And a communion America, a mile-long communion table on the National Mall. If you got gluten allergies, you just might watch from the sidelines on this one. And so with that said, we're going to bounce right into targeted individual news. This week's TIs were hit with fraudster texts pretending to be people y'all actually know. So be alert, be wise, be suspicious, even if messages are saying, hey, bestie. This week's TI signs to watch out for. You know, guys, I told you every week, I'm going to give you the 411 on things to look out for targeted individuals. And what I want to focus on this week is electronics. If your phones are hacked, specifically, you want to look at whether your batteries are draining fast. If the alarm settings that you're setting on your phone are being mysteriously disabled, if certain receipts or pictures you are recording are mysteriously being deleted, and if your Wi-Fi is cutting off like it owes people money. That's something you may want to take note of. Also, GPS and VPN altering, and your thermostat. Some of you have these smart items in your homes, which I don't personally recommend because TIs, that's the first thing that they go for, the smart TVs, the smart refrigerators, and the smart thermostats. If your thermostat starts acting like it's possessed, you guys already know what time it is. Switch that bad boy out. And depending on how deep you're being illegally surveilled, you may have to deal with, unfortunately, bribed colleagues, neighbors, and even family members that may have, unfortunately, enlisted you on the black market with religious occults to be targeted for organized crime and or to be trafficked via the use of severe monitoring techniques and covert business and personal sabotage studies via electronics. So keep that in mind. Some other signs you may want to look out for are forged documents, business opened in your name that you didn't approve of, bank and insurance fraud schemes. Bottom line, smart devices will be compromised when you're a targeted individual and also used as means of tracking and attack via mobile devices. Also, directed energy weapons. Please continue to donate, with that said, at fundraisingcup.org to support the individuals affected by these targeting campaigns. As we continue to be a voice for the voiceless and expose what's happening underground, literally, and any new TI seeking further information, protection, or spiritual guidance, you guys know where you can find me at fundraisingcup.org/Juel. And you guys know what time it is. Poll break. You voted, I judged. You guys, on the first poll, you voted for the most confusing character in the news. And at a tie for 42%, Trump's airspace move last week and the Pope's update mode tied at 42%. Jay-Z's DNA dodge was at 17%, and you guys really didn't care about the wicked cast members' bodies evaporating or Diddy's Thanksgiving feast at all. So, Lord, the tie between Trump and the Pope, that tells you everything you needed to know about last week. And in the second poll on targeted individual awareness, you guys tied again with being surprised that these groups are using hidden cameras as well as security signals jammed for the internet. That was a tie at 33%. Actually, no, it was a three-way tie. Food, water sabotage. You guys didn't consider that surprising at 33% as well. So we had a three-way shocking tie. Y'all said all of the above is stressing you out, really. And in our last poll, where we asked what hit you the hardest from this past week's What's Going On episode, or no, we asked you, why did you miss the talk? You guys remember that miss the talk little side joke we run every week? To give you guys excuses on why you missed my last episode. Don't do it again. Auntie doesn't like it. Anyway, you guys voted that 53% of you said your bills had bad attitudes last week. That's why you missed it. 7% of you said it was due to office politics. Stay out of that drama there, guys. Don't bring it home. And 20% of you actually had family drama. Surprising, isn't it? And finally, that was a tie with the alarm clock being the enemy. Guys, I know the feeling. My alarm clock is definitely my enemy. So bills stay having bad attitudes. They don't miss a deadline. Meanwhile, we will be praying for grace periods and miracles. I want to thank you guys so much for voting on LinkedIn. I hope that these polls bring you as much joy as it brings me in judging how how much we embrace the insanity of it all. And that brings us to my random thoughts, guys. I know how much you guys love this section and covered the thoughts that no one will actually say out loud, but I'm here for you in spirit. Let's start with the good news. The Amtrak train that everybody said was missing, almost like it vanished in thin air. It was a mystery. It actually just broke down near Chicago. But the internet said aliens stopped it, so we could just cross that off our list. Everyone's okay. And the missing woman, Theta Hughes, truly concerning. We're still praying for her safe return. She's still out there somewhere. No one knows where she went. And then here, oh my goodness, here's the thing. Everyone's buzzing about the Netflix Diddy's documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning, that dropped. And this exploded. 50 Cent allegedly bought the videographer's unpaid footage. Did you guys hear this? Well, Auntie Jules here to give you the scoop. Everyone's been asking, how did he obtain these accurate videos to use against his nemesis? Well, apparently, they're saying Diddy wanted to be followed around with a videographer, hired a videographer, and never paid him. So the videos went to the highest bidder, essentially, and that happened to be 50 Cent. Diabolical, I know. And then Diddy responded to the series being publicized and hitting #1 on Netflix charts globally by sending 50 Cent's funeral flowers. I tell you guys, this is beyond messy. It's almost Shakespeare. We will keep you posted in how that continues to develop. And guys, did you hear about the Chicago school drop-off murder? So apparently a mom dropped her child off at school, and another woman who has children with the same father shot and killed her. Heartbreaking, senseless, and our prayers go out to Romeka Blackmon's family. And our girl's always in our news report. We have so much love for her. One day she truly, I'm telling you, will have me on her podcast to appreciate the shout-outs that I give her. Candace Owens versus TPUSA is in my random thoughts. It's giving me like a versus battle of some sort. There are going to be 2 live streams at the same time, guys, because they want her there live in person. She's saying they didn't give her enough time, so they're going to do it without her. It's just a madness. But, guys, bring your popcorn. This is going to be something interesting to watch. And AT&T drops all DEI jobs in order to get a $1 billion deal. Yeah, you guys heard me correctly. America is 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, please let that marinate and sink in. That they are, in order to get that $1 billion deal, you guys are just straight up out of luck. And, Candy Burris files for divorce. Child, ATL never sleeps. And then there were drones shaped like swords in China. Cool for TikTok, terrifying for warfare. I'm just saying, if this is something they're creating for fun, we have to be very alarmed of what they will create for serious battle. And an Arizona representative says she was pepper sprayed by ICE. DHS says no, she wasn't. Somebody's lying, child, and lying boldly. And there was a Tennessee pit bull tragedy, devastating and heartbreaking. An elderly man and I think his grandchild were mauled to death. Rest in peace to the victims. Now this one we're going to close out with, because in the spirit of marination, I don't want you guys coming at me. So I'm just reporting, all right? National Park Service drama. Trump removed MLK Day and Juneteenth from free entry days and added his own birthday. Yes, you heard me correctly. Adjust that side eye. I'm just reporting the news, y'all. That's the latest update. Whew, we got through it. If this week was a movie, I'd be rated what the hell? Thank you all for tuning in to What's Going On. And remember, stay informed, stay aware, stay prayed up. And of course, stay subscribed. I'm Juel Claxton, your trusted host, signing off. And remember, it's not paranoia if they're really out to get you. We'll talk again next week, guys. Love you all. Bye.